Welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. We've got some breaking news here. Yes, and I'm going to go over a live trade on how to trade with 5x leverage on KuCoin, why I'm placing these trades, where I'm putting where's my entry and where's my exit, and where's my risk management. The three things you need to be an effective trader. Now, what is the breaking news? Tesla just sold 75% of their Bitcoin holdings in Q2. Yes, Elon Musk, electric vehicle maker, has offloaded most of its Bitcoin reserves according to financial statements released Wednesday. The electric vehicle maker Tesla sold most of its Bitcoin holdings in the second quarter, according to new financial disclosures released on Wednesday. As of Q2, we have converted approximately 75% of our Bitcoin purchases into fiat currency. Tesla said in its quarterly report, conversions in Q2 added $936 million out of cash. Conversions in Q2 added $936 million of cash to our balance sheet. According to the financial statements, Tesla's net Bitcoin holdings were relatively stable for 3 consecutive quarters. By the end of March, Tesla held $1.261 billion worth of digital assets on its books. Following the liquidation, the firm now has $218 million in digital exposure. As Cointelegraph reported, the electric vehicle maker sold a portion of its BTC reserves in March. Wow. Realizing a net profit of $128 million at the time, CEO Elon Musk explained that the sale, which amounted to 10% of Tesla's holdings, was to provide liquidity of Bitcoin as an alternative to holding cash on the balance sheet. Just 2 months prior, in January, Tesla became one of the largest corporate holders of Bitcoin after it acquired $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. The purchase was disclosed in a February filing with the United States Security and Exchange Commission. At the time, Tesla also had plans to accept Bitcoin payments, but also plans were later scrapped due to concern about Bitcoin energy use. So for its fiscal second quarter, Tesla reported adjusted per share earnings of 2.27 on revenues of $16.93 billion. The automotive gross margins were down compared with that of the first quarter and a year ago due to inflation and growing competition for electric vehicle components such as battery cells. So here's the big question. When did Tesla sell those Bitcoin holdings? In the second quarter. Keep in mind, the second quarter already happened. So if he sold them, maybe he offloaded them, he capitulated, somewhere back here on the weekly time frame. If you look last quarter, so when was 4 weeks ago? 1, 2, 3, 4. So hopefully he didn't sell right there. Maybe he sold right there. But Mr. Elon, Mr. Tesla, unloaded some of his Bitcoins. And what am I talking about doing right now? So this news just hit the market. I think it's a good time to take a short for a couple of reasons, and I'll point those out really quick. And I'm already in. I'm 122 ETH deep on the short side of the margin. Already running a little profit here, a little $700 profit, not too bad. But what am I going to show you here that is why I'm a little bit biased right now with at least a short-term move down. I actually do think we have more upside to go. This is old news. Remember, this is going to get digested over the next couple of hours as this market, the news is always old. This is old news in a sense. The people that know anything about anything, they already sold. So what I think is likely to happen, let's take a look on the hourly chart here. We did just break down on the hourly time frame. I'm going to draw this trend line out right here. Does it go all the way up there? Uh-oh. Maybe this short is going to be a little bit short-lived for me, and I get stopped out. Stopped out. Okay, so what do I have on the board here on the hourly time frame? We've got volatility coming down. Excuse me, volatility is now nosediving a little bit. We've got Stokes momentum to the downside, and we will have several drives of bullish divergence if we do confirm this as a local low, which would give us a shot back to the top side of the range based on the hourly time frame. So that's why news-driven selling doesn't always work out, and I should have drew this trend line a little bit earlier than later, and maybe I'll just go ahead and close this position before it hurts me anymore. Maybe I'll go ahead and close it for a $500 profit based on the hourly time frame. What else is going on? Stock market up 1.5% in the NASDAQ. The dollar, what are we doing on the dollar here? Bouncing off the 21, maybe potentially putting in another higher low. I think the dollar could have some more room to go to the downside. Bitcoin CMEs, it looks like we do want to come up to about 26,000. I wouldn't be surprised if we pull back to 22,000 first. Kind of retest the breakout level and then march it on up there. Remember, you know, it's going to try to just do the opposite of what everybody thinks here. I do think this is the maximum, you know, upside potential here in the short term. Again, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but what I am saying right now is that there is potentially a news-driven sell-off here. Are there any technicals to support my theory here? And here's what I was going off. Just to give you an idea, I like to trade sometimes on the shorter term time frames. And what do we have here on Ethereum? Back on the 15-minute. And yes, we are getting that rejection as I was hoping. So we do have the silver cross to the downside. So the way I'm playing this out here is, first off, risk limit. That is my... That is going to be where I will put my stop loss, my entry off the green 55. So we had the breakdown. This is the retest of the green 55. And typically that is a sell. Momentum will cross to the downside below 1519. So 30-minute also is lining up that sell signal too. Again, that is a perfect test of the silver cross. So again, a nice stop limit right there. And I would look for a move at a minimum. I mean, and this has been a pretty strong range here, I would say. Again, so this range coming off there, you got, 1, 2, 3, 4. The more touches to a trend line, the more likely it is to break. And what do we got here from the range low to the range high, or even up to here? I mean, we could do it like that. And that would potentially give you a measure move off of this ascending triangle, which broke to the downside down here to, right there. That would be a nice little move to the downside. Yep. So that is what I'm looking for right now. I do imagine some people are just getting this Tesla news and they're thinking, oh crap, even Tesla sold their Bitcoin. What am I going to do now? And that's why just taking a little short-term trade to the downside, I don't think it ever hurt anybody. So again, some people have been asking, Chris, how do I do this? This is a bit overwhelming here, right? Well, if you can manage to get your funds onto the KuCoin futures platform, again, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Only do this if you expect to lose everything that you put on there and never see it again, and you have time to play with your money. This is Celsius. I'm a real big fan of Celsius these days. Not Celsius the exchange, oddly enough, but Celsius makes a good little energy drink that is not totally bad for you, I guess. But this is a little bit more clearer on KuCoin, and I don't have all the moving averages. You just got your candles, right? So where's the range? From the range low to the range high, if you want to be conservative, I like to use the Fibonacci retracement tool from the low to the high, right? And I would expect that if we do break this region, which we may or may not, if we do break this region, we're going to get a move down to here, which I do believe would have further implications on the higher term time frame. So what that could lead on to potentially is a greater move, something like this down to 1409. And that seems a little bit more reasonable, as that would be probably the daily breakout level. Nope, that's coming down all the way right here. And here's what I would say, guys, for Mr. Ethereum. Before, look at all these lines here. All right, so this was the range for several weeks. Now that we have broken the range, typically what happens, you come back, you break resistance, it becomes support. And you break resistance and it becomes support. So how do we get this measure move? Again, with the Fibonacci retracement tool from the range low to the range high. And that's why I do think we could get a little bit more upside, but the old saying is close enough is close enough. So how would we tighten it up? Well, we could go from that range, from that high to that low. And yeah, we perfectly, from this high to this low, right? If we add the wicks, no, if we add the wicks, but if we do it based off of the candle bodies, I mean, we hit that thing perfect to the T. Another reason why I think we could get a move down to a minimum, down to about $1,400, is we got to tick below this guy right here. However, shorting in an uptrend, when you got volatility expanding, we're just getting up into the bullish control zone. And if we do hold on the daily time frame, that's going to look good for another try. But keep in mind, typically the first test into the bullish control zone is usually a rejection like this one right there. So risk limit adjustments. How do we know where to take those profits? Well, that is the game. That is the game of where do I put my profits in? Where do I take my stop losses? And so how much do I want to leave on the table with a very small margin? You know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and close it for you. So let's limit close out of this at 1546. I'm going to hit 100% and I'm just going to get out. I'm going to call it a day. Oh, look, and I missed it. And that's sometimes what can happen right there before your very eyes. The exchange will do that. Oh, there it comes back. Should be getting me out now. Come on. Let's go down to the 5 minute and take a look here. Higher lows on the 5 minute. Nope. It doesn't want to get me out. So now from a $700 profit to a $293. Hey, you know the old saying, you never get hurt taking a profit, right, Jim? Well, 1546, 100%. Confirm. There we go. Done. I'm out. Like spout. That's enough for this trade, guys. Hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed, and highly favored day. Hope that was helpful. Drop a like and a comment in the description below. Take care.